The restaurant was called Sorrentino's, a five-star Italian establishment in Lower Manhattan, where a single appetizer cost more than most people made in a day. The tables were covered in white linen, the silverware was actual silver, and the wine list included bottles worth thousands of dollars. At table 7, near the window overlooking the city lights, Dante Moretti sat alone in his wheelchair, staring at the empty chair across from him. She was 47 minutes late. No, that wasn't accurate. Valentina wasn't late. She wasn't coming. Dante had known that for at least 20 minutes, but he'd kept sitting here anyway, hoping he was wrong, hoping she'd walk through the door with some excuse about traffic or work or anything that would make this less humiliating, but she wasn't coming. Dante Moretti was 42 years old, and until 8 months ago, he'd been one of the most powerful men in New York, the head of the Moretti crime family, controller of the gambling operations from Atlantic City to Boston, owner of legitimate businesses that made him a millionaire many times over. 8 months ago, he'd been untouchable. Men had feared him. Women had wanted him. He'd walked into rooms and commanded attention just by existing. 8 months ago, he'd had working legs. The assassination attempt had happened on a Tuesday morning in March. Dante had been leaving his social club in Brooklyn when 3 men with automatic weapons had opened fire. His bodyguards had returned fire, killing 2 of the shooters. The third had escaped, but not before putting 5 bullets into Dante, 1 through his shoulder, 1 through his side, 1 that grazed his neck and 2 that had shattered his spine, turning him from a man who walked with confidence into a man who'd spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. The doctors at Mount Sinai had been blunt. The damage to your spinal cord is extensive and permanent. You'll never walk again. Physical therapy might give you limited mobility in your upper body, but below the waist, you're paralyzed for life. Dante had spent 3 months in the hospital, then another 2 in a specialized rehabilitation center. They'd taught him how to transfer from bed to wheelchair, how to manage his bodily functions, how to navigate a world that wasn't built for people who couldn't walk. They'd taught him everything except how to accept it. The family had rallied around him at first. His underboss, Carlo, had assured him nothing would change. You're still the boss. You're still in charge. We'll make accommodations, whatever you need. But slowly, inevitably, things did change. Soldiers stopped asking for his approval on decisions. Capos started meeting without him. Carlo began making calls that should have come from Dante. The family business continued, but Dante was becoming a figurehead, a symbol with no real power. And Valentina, his fiancée of 2 years, had started pulling away. She'd been perfect at first, beautiful, from a good family, the kind of woman a man in his position was supposed to marry. They'd been planning a wedding for June, a massive celebration at the plaza with 400 guests after the shooting. Valentina had visited him in the hospital every day. She'd held his hand, had cried appropriately, had said all the right things about standing by him, but once he'd come home, once the reality of his condition became clear, she'd changed. The visits became less frequent. She started having excuses for why she couldn't stay, and finally, 3 weeks ago, she'd asked for some time to think. Tonight was supposed to be their first real date since the key shooting. Dante's therapist had suggested it. You need to reconnect with normalcy. Do something you used to do before the injury. Take her to a nice restaurant. Have a conversation that isn't about your recovery. So Dante had made reservations at Sorrentino's, her favorite restaurant. He'd arranged for his driver to pick her up. He'd worn his best suit, the one that had been altered to look good while sitting down. He'd even practiced transferring from his wheelchair to a regular dining chair, determined to show her he could still do normal things, but Valentina hadn't come. Instead, 20 minutes ago, he'd received a text message. I'm sorry, Dante. I can't do this. I thought I could, but I can't. You're not the man I agreed to marry. That man walked and danced and was powerful. I know it's shallow. I know it makes me terrible, but I can't spend my life with someone who needs help with everything. I'm sorry, I've left your ring with your driver. I hope you find happiness, but I can't be the one to give it to you. Dante had read the message 3 times, each time hoping the words would rearrange themselves into something less devastating, but they stayed the same. Cold, final, honest in a way that made it worse. She was right, of course. He wasn't the man she'd agreed to marry. That man was dead, killed by the same bullets that had shattered his spine. What remained was this: a 42-year-old former mob boss in a wheelchair, unable to walk, unable to dance, unable to be the man any woman would want. The waiter, a young man named Gabriel, who'd been hovering nervously for the past 20 minutes, approached the table again. Sir, would you like to order, or perhaps, should I cancel the reservation for 2? The pity in Gabriel's voice was unbearable. Dante could see it in everyone's eyes now. The pity, the discomfort, the relief that it had happened to him and not to them. Cancel it, Dante said, his voice rough. I'll just have a scotch. Make it a double, the Macallan 25-year. Of course, sir. Dante sat in his wheelchair at the table for two, staring out the window at the Manhattan skyline. He should leave, should call his driver, and go home to his empty penthouse and drink himself into oblivion like he'd been doing most nights. But something kept him sitting there. Pride, maybe, stubbornness, a refusal to let this humiliation be the story. If he left now, Gabriel would tell the other waiters, who'd tell the kitchen staff, who'd spread the story. The great Dante Moretti, abandoned at a restaurant, wheeling himself out alone, so he stayed drinking expensive scotch and pretending he didn't notice the pitying glances from other diners. That's when he heard the commotion at the entrance. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but we don't have a reservation under that name. But I called this afternoon. I spoke to someone named Marcus. He said he had an opening at 8:30. I'm very sorry, but I'm not showing any reservation, and we're completely booked tonight. Please, it's my son's birthday. I promised him we'd go somewhere special. I've been saving for 3 months for this, please. Isn't there anything you can do?" Dante turned to look. A woman stood at the hostess stand, practically begging. She was black, maybe 35 years old, wearing a dress that was nice but clearly not expensive. Beside her stood a boy, maybe 8 or 9, wearing a button-up shirt and tie. The kid's face was falling as he realized they weren't getting in. "Mama, it's okay," the boy said quietly. "We can go somewhere else. I don't need fancy." But the woman looked like she might cry. "I promised you. Baby, I promised you somewhere special for your birthday." The hostess, a cold-faced woman in designer clothes, shook her head. "I'm truly sorry, but without a reservation I can't seat you. Perhaps you could try." "They can have my table," Dante said loudly. Everyone turned to look at him. "Excuse me," the hostess said. Dante wheeled himself toward the entrance. "I have a reservation for 2. I'm not going to use it. They can have my table." The hostess looked confused. "Mr. Moretti, you don't have to." "I'm not asking, I'm telling you. Give them my table. Put their meal on my account, whatever they order." The woman stared at him, tears in her eyes. "Sir, I can't accept that. That's too generous." "It's not generous, it's practical. I have a table I'm not using. You need a table. Economics." Dante looked at the boy, who was staring at him with wide eyes. "It's your birthday." "Yes, sir, I'm 9. Today." "9's a good age. What's your name?" "Marcus Johnson." "Well, Marcus, happy birthday. Enjoy your dinner." Dante started to wheel himself toward the exit, but the woman called out, "Wait, please." He turned. She approached him, and up close Dante could see she was younger than he'd first thought, maybe 33, 34. She had warm brown eyes and natural hair pulled back elegantly. Her dress was simple, but she wore it with the kind of dignity that spoke of someone who knew how to make the most of what she had. "Thank you," she said, "but I can't let you just leave. You were here first. We can find somewhere else." "You already tried somewhere else, and it's the kid's birthday. Let him have this one nice meal. God knows the world doesn't give kids enough reasons to smile." "That's very kind, but..." She paused, studying his face. "You were waiting for someone, weren't you?" "Someone who didn't show up." Dante's jaw tightened. "How did you know?" "Because you have that look, the look of someone who got their heart broken recently. I know that look. I see it in the mirror every morning." There was something so honest about her assessment that Dante couldn't be offended. "Yeah, I was stood up. First date in months. Turns out my fiancée decided she can't handle dating a..." He gestured to his wheelchair. "A man who can't walk." "Then she's a fool," the woman said simply, "and you're better off without her. You don't even know me. I know enough. You just gave up your reservation and offered to pay for strangers on a kid's birthday. That tells me everything I need to know about your character, your ex-fiancée. She just told me everything I need to know about hers. If you're connecting with Dante and this unexpected meeting, could you hit that like button? It helps stories like this reach people who need them, and trust me, what happens next will surprise you." Marcus tugged on his mother's dress. "Mama, can the man eat with us? If he doesn't have anyone to eat with and we don't have a table, maybe we all eat together." The woman looked mortified. "Marcus, sweetheart, I'm sure the gentleman doesn't want..." "Actually," Dante heard himself say, "that's not a terrible idea. I hate eating alone. If you don't mind the company of a stranger in a wheelchair, I'd be happy to join you, and before you refuse, consider that I'm going to pay for your meal anyway. You might as well let me be there to enjoy watching the kid have a good birthday." The woman hesitated, clearly torn between propriety and practicality. Finally, she smiled. "All right, but only if you let us pay you back somehow. I don't take charity." "It's not charity, it's, let's call it an even trade. You give me company, so I don't have to eat alone feeling sorry for myself, and I give you a nice meal for the kid's birthday. Fair?" "Fair," she agreed. They were seated at Dante's table by the window. The hostess looked confused but didn't argue. Gabriel, the waiter, looked even more confused but recovered quickly. "Welcome," Gabriel said, distributing menus. "Can I start you with drinks?" "I'll have water, please," the woman said. "I want a Shirley Temple," Marcus said, excitedly. "With extra cherries, if that's allowed." "It's allowed," Dante said. "And bring him the fancy one. With the special garnish they do for kids, I'll have another Macallan 25. After Gabriel left, the woman extended her hand. I should probably introduce myself since we're having dinner together. I'm Nicole Johnson, and you've met Marcus. Dante Moretti, he said, shaking her hand. Her grip was firm, confident. Wait, Nicole said, recognition dawning. Dante Moretti? As in the Moretti family? You know who I am. I work at the hospital, Mount Sinai. I'm a nurse on the trauma floor. You were there for 3 months last year. I heard about what happened. Dante felt his face flush. Of course, the hospital, everyone there knew his story. Then you know what I am, what I was, and you probably shouldn't be having dinner with me. Why? Because you're in the mafia. Nicole's voice was, matter of fact, Mr. Moretti, I grew up in the Bronx. I know what the streets are like. I've patched up gang members, mob associates, drug dealers, and cops. I learned a long time ago not to judge people by their worst choices, only by how they treat people in the moment. And how am I treating people in the moment? You're being kind to a single mother and her son who needed someone to be kind today. That's good enough for me. Marcus was studying his menu with intense concentration. Mama, what's osso buco? It's veal shanks, baby, braised with vegetables. What's veal? Baby cow, Dante said. Sounds terrible, but it's actually delicious. The meat falls off the bone. You were adventurous eater, Marcus. I like to try new things. Mama says that's how we learn about the world. Your mama is a smart woman. Dante looked at Nicole. How old is he really? Because he talks like he's 30. Nicole laughed. He's 9 going on 40, always been that way, too smart for his own good sometimes. There's no such thing as too smart. The world needs more smart kids. Order whatever you want, Marcus. Tonight, we're celebrating. Over dinner, Dante learned their story. Nicole had gotten pregnant at 24 with a man who'd promised forever and delivered nothing. He'd left before Marcus was born, never paid child support, never even met his son, Nicole. Had raised Marcus alone, working full-time as a nurse while taking night classes to finish her bachelor's degree. It hasn't been easy, she admitted, cutting her chicken with precise movements, but we make it work. Marcus is my world. Everything I do is for him. That's a lot of pressure for a kid, Dante observed. Maybe, but he's strong, resilient. He gets that from his grandmother. She raised me the same way. Tough love, high expectations, no excuses. Marcus was demolishing his osso buco with enthusiasm. This is so good. Mr. Moretti, do you eat here all the time? I used to, before. Dante gestured to his wheelchair. Before this happened. Haven't been back since. What happened? Marcus asked, then immediately looked at his mother. Sorry, Mama says I ask too many questions. It's okay, Dante said. I was shot by men who wanted to kill me. They didn't quite succeed, but they took my legs. Now I can't walk anymore. That must be really hard. It is the hardest thing I've ever dealt with, and I've dealt with a lot of hard things in my life. But you still came to this restaurant. Even though it must be hard to come to places you used to go to before, that's brave. Dante looked at this 9-year-old kid with new respect. You know what, Marcus? You're right. I didn't think of it that way, but you're right. Coming here was brave. Even if it didn't work out the way I planned, because your girlfriend didn't show up? Marcus, Nicole said sharply, that's personal. It's okay. Dante said, yeah, because my girlfriend didn't show up. She decided she didn't want to be with someone who can't walk, and I get it. I'm not the man I was. I can't do the things I used to do, so she left. She sounds mean, Marcus said matter-of-factly. My teacher says that people who only like you when you're perfect aren't real friends. Real friends like you even when things are hard. Your teacher sounds like a wise person. She is. She also says that what you can't do isn't as important as what you can do, like, I can't do multiplication yet because we haven't learned it, but I can do addition and subtraction, so I focus on what I can do and I keep learning. Dante felt something crack in his chest. This kid, this 9-year-old, had just articulated something Dante hadn't been able to accept in 8 months. Focus on what you can do. You're a pretty smart kid, Marcus. Your mum is lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have her. She works really hard so I can have things. Even when she's tired, she helps with my homework, and she always makes my birthday special, even when we don't have a lot of money. Nicole's eyes were shining with tears. Baby, you don't have to. It's true, Mama. You're the best mom in the world. They finished dinner with gelato and birthday cannoli that Gabriel brought out with a lit candle. The whole restaurant sang happy birthday to Marcus, who beamed with joy that made Dante's chest ache. This should have been miserable. Dante should have been home alone, drinking himself into oblivion, mourning the loss of Valentina and his old life. But instead, he was laughing with a single mother and her son, watching a kid blow out a candle on his birthday dessert, feeling more human than he had in months after dinner. As they were preparing to leave, Nicole pulled Dante aside while Marcus used the restroom. Thank you, she said quietly, not just for dinner, but for giving Marcus this memory. He's going to remember this birthday for the rest of his life, not because the food was fancy, but because a kind man treated him with respect and made him feel special. I didn't do anything special. You did. You saw us when the world was trying to make us invisible. That matters more than you know. Can I ask you something? Dante said. Of course. How do you do it? Raise a kid alone? Work full-time? Keep going when things are hard? Where does that strength come from? Nicole thought about it. It comes from not having a choice, when you're the only person standing between your child and poverty, between your child and hunger, between your child and despair. You find strength you didn't know you had. You get up every day because someone depends on you. It's that simple. But don't you get tired? Don't you want to give up sometimes? Every single day. But then Marcus smiles at me or shows me his homework or tells me about something he learned in school, and I remember why I keep going. He's my purpose, my reason. And as long as I have that, I can survive anything. Dante looked at this woman who worked as a nurse, raised a kid alone, and still found reasons to smile. She had so much less than he did. No money, no power, no security, but she had something he'd lost. Purpose. Can I give you my number? Dante asked suddenly. Nicole looked surprised. Why? Because I'd like to see you again, and Marcus, if that's okay. I know I'm not exactly a prize catch. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm a criminal, and I'm apparently not someone women want to date. But I enjoyed tonight more than I've enjoyed anything in 8 months, and I'd like to do it again. Mr. Moretti, Dante, please call me Dante. Dante, I don't know if that's a good idea. You're recovering from a breakup. I'm a single mother with a 9-year-old and no time for complications. We're from completely different worlds. Maybe, but Marcus is right about something. What I can't do isn't as important as what I can do. I can't walk, but I can buy a kid a birthday dinner. I can make you laugh. I can treat you with respect. Isn't that enough to at least try being friends? Nicole studied him for a long moment. Finally, she pulled out her phone. Friends, just friends. I'm not looking for romance. I don't have time for it. Friends is good. Friends is more than I have right now. They exchanged numbers. As Nicole and Marcus prepared to leave, the boy turned back and hugged Dante. Thank you for my birthday, Mr. Moretti. This was the best birthday ever. Dante hugged him back, surprised by how much the gesture affected him. Happy birthday, Marcus. Keep being smart and asking questions. The world needs more people like you. After they left, Dante sat alone at the table for a few more minutes. Gabriel approached cautiously. Mr. Moretti, can I get you anything else? No, just the check. It's already been taken. Care of Mrs. Johnson paid for her meal and yours before she left. She said to tell you that friends don't let friends pay for everything. Dante started laughing. He laughed so hard tears came to his eyes. This woman, this single mother who saved for 3 months for one birthday dinner, had paid for his meal, had insisted on it, had refused to let him treat her like a charity case. It was the most dignified thing anyone had done for him since the shooting. Dante didn't expect to hear from Nicole again. He figured she'd been polite, had taken his number to be kind, but would never actually call. Women like her, good, honest women with responsibilities, didn't get involved with men like him. So he was shocked when his phone rang 3 days later and her name appeared on the screen. Hello? Dante? It's Nicole. I hope I'm not bothering you. Not at all. I'm just sitting at home watching my physical therapist try to convince me to do exercises I don't want to do. Well, tell your therapist I said you should do the exercises. Muscle atrophy is real and recovery requires consistent work. You sound like a nurse. I am a nurse. And speaking as a nurse, I'm calling to invite you to something. Marcus has a basketball game on Saturday. He's been telling everyone at school about his birthday dinner with the nice man in the wheelchair. He wanted me to invite you if you're not busy. Dante's first instinct was to say no. A kid's basketball game in a school gym with stairs and crowds and everyone staring at the man in the wheelchair. But then he thought about Marcus's smile, about the way the kid had hugged him, about the fact that he'd been invited, wanted, included. What time? He asked. The basketball game was held at a public school in the Bronx. Dante's driver dropped him off and he wheeled himself into the gym with the help of a ramp that looked like it had been installed in the 1980s. The gym was packed with parents and kids, loud with the sounds of squeaking shoes and bouncing balls and excited shouting. Dante hadn't been in an environment like this since before the shooting. It was overwhelming and uncomfortable and completely outside his world. Nicole spotted him and waved from the bleachers. She'd saved him a space on the first row where he could park his wheelchair without blocking anyone. You came, she said, genuinely happy. I said I would. I know, but I wasn't sure. This isn't exactly your scene. No, but I'm trying to expand my scenes. Marcus ran over during a break, still in his basketball uniform, sweaty and excited. Mr. Moretti, you're here. Did you see my shot? I made a basket. I just got here, but I'll watch close for the rest of the game. Show me what you got. For the next hour, Dante watched 9-year-olds play basketball with more enthusiasm than skill. They traveled constantly. double-dribbled, and missed most of their shots, but they played with pure joy, celebrating every basket like they'd won the championship. Marcus wasn't the best player on the team, but he tried hard, played fair, and high-fived his teammates whether they scored or missed. "He's a good kid," Dante observed to Nicole during a timeout. "He's the best thing I ever did," she said. "I know I'm biased, but he really is special, not because he's talented or gifted or any of that, but because he's kind. In a world that teaches boys to be tough and aggressive, Marcus is kind, and that's worth more than any talent." How do you teach that? Kindness. By being kind to him, by letting him see me be kind to others. Kids learn what they see, not what we tell them. If I want him to be compassionate, I have to show him compassion. If I want him to be respectful, I have to respect him. Your ex doesn't know what he's missing. His loss. I tried for years to get him involved, to let him know Marcus, to give him chances, but you can't force someone to want to be a parent, so eventually I stopped trying. Marcus deserves people in his life who actually want to be there. After the game, which Marcus's team lost by 3 points, they went for pizza at a place near the school. It was nothing like Sorrentino's, just a neighborhood joint with plastic tables and paper plates, and pizza served on wax paper, but it was perfect. Marcus chatted about the game, about school, about his plans to be either a scientist or a chef or maybe both. Nicole watched her son with obvious pride, occasionally correcting his grammar or reminding him to use his napkin, and Dante watched both of them, feeling something he hadn't felt in months, contentment, not happiness exactly, because he was still dealing with the reality of his paralysis, still grieving his old life, but contentment, a sense of being exactly where he was supposed to be in this moment. "Why are you looking at us like that?" Nicole asked. "Like what? Like you're studying us for a test." I'm realizing I've spent my whole life around people who wanted something from me. Power, money, connections, protection. Everyone in my world has an agenda, but you two don't want anything from me. You just exist with me. And that's new. Is it good new or bad new? Good new. Definitely good new. Over the next few months, Dante became a regular fixture in Nicole and Marcus's life. He attended Marcus's school events, the science fair where Marcus built a volcano, the school play where Marcus played a tree, the spelling bee where Marcus came in fourth. He helped Marcus with homework, especially math, which Dante had always been good at. He took them to restaurants they couldn't normally afford, to baseball games at Yankee Stadium, to museums and shows. But more importantly, he showed up when Nicole's car broke down and she needed a ride to work. Dante's driver took her. When Marcus got sick and Nicole had to work, Dante sat with the kid, making sure he took his medicine and had someone to talk to. When Nicole's apartment had a leak and the landlord wouldn't fix it, Dante made a phone call and suddenly the landlord was very motivated to make repairs. "You're too generous," Nicole told him one evening. They were at his penthouse, where she'd agreed to have dinner after Marcus was at a sleepover with friends. "I can't keep accepting your help." "Why not? I have resources. You need things, it's practical. It feels like charity." "It's not charity, it's..." Dante struggled to find the words. "It's me trying to use my resources for something good for once. My whole life, I've used my money and power to control people, to intimidate them, to get what I want. Let me use it differently for once. Let me help people who actually deserve it. We're not a charity project, Dante. I know you're my friends and friends help friends. Is that really all we are? Friends?" The question hung in the air between them. Dante had been trying not to think about this, trying not to acknowledge the way his heart jumped when Nicole smiled, the way he looked forward to their time together more than anything else in his life. "I don't know," he admitted. "What do you want us to be?" Nicole came over and sat beside his wheelchair, taking his hand. "I want to be honest with you. When we first met, I thought this was temporary, a nice man being kind to strangers. But it's been 4 months now, 4 months of you showing up, of you being there for Marcus, of you treating me with respect I haven't had from a man in maybe ever. But I'm scared. I'm scared of getting involved with someone who lives the life you live. I'm scared of falling for someone and then losing them to violence or prison or their past catching up with them. I'm scared of Marcus getting attached and then getting hurt. He's already attached, you know that, right? He talks about me constantly, asks when we're going to see me, plans things he wants to show me. I know, which is why I'm scared. If this doesn't work out, if you decide you don't want this life, Marcus will be devastated." "And what about you?" Dante asked. "Would you be devastated?" Nicole's eyes filled with tears. "Yes, I would, because despite all my logical reasons not to, I'm falling in love with you, Dante Moretti, and that terrifies me. Dante pulled her closer, cupping her face with his hands. I'm terrified too. I'm a paralyzed ex-mob boss with more enemies than friends and a future that's uncertain at best. I can't offer you safety or normalcy or any of the things you deserve, but I can offer you honesty and loyalty and the promise that I'll never take you for granted. Because Nicole, you saved my life. I didn't save your life. I bought you pizza and let you hang out with my kid. You did save my life that night at the restaurant. I was done. I was ready to go home and give up. You and Marcus reminded me that there's more to life than what I lost. You showed me what I still have, what I can still be. That's everything. He kissed her then, and it was the first time he'd kissed anyone since before the shooting. It was tender and careful and perfect. I'm still scared, Nicole whispered against his lips. Me too, but maybe we can be scared together. 6 months after that first night at Sorrentino's, Dante Moretti was sitting in his physical therapist's office, sweating and exhausted from 2 hours of intense exercise. You're making remarkable progress, Dr. Chen said, reviewing his charts. Your upper body strength has increased 40%. Your core stability is significantly better. You're transferring more independently. I'm genuinely impressed. I have motivation, Dante said. The girlfriend, yeah, and her son. I want to be able to do more with them, take them places, not be so dependent on help all the time. That's good motivation. Keep it up. As Dante wheeled out of the office, his phone rang. It was Nicole, and her voice was panicked. Dante, I need your help. Marcus is in the hospital. He collapsed at school. They think it's his appendix. They're taking him into surgery. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Where are you? Mount Sinai, the ER. I'm on my way. Hang on, Nicole. I'm coming. Dante's driver got him to the hospital in 20 minutes, breaking several traffic laws in the process. He found Nicole in the surgical waiting room, pacing and crying. Hey, he said, wheeling over to her. Talk to me. What's happening? They took him back 15 minutes ago. The surgeon said it's a straightforward procedure, but there's always risks. What if something goes wrong? What if I lose him? He's everything, Dante. He's my whole world. You're not going to lose him. He's strong. He's a fighter. He gets that from his mama. Nicole collapsed into the chair next to him, and Dante took her hand. They sat together in silence, waiting. The minutes felt like hours. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, but was actually 90 minutes, the surgeon emerged. Ms. Johnson, the surgery went perfectly. Marcus did great. He's in recovery now. You should be able to see him in about 30 minutes. Nicole sobbed with relief, and Dante held her while she cried out all the fear and stress. When they finally took Nicole back to see Marcus, the boy was groggy from anesthesia but conscious. His face lit up when he saw them both. Mama, Mr. Moretti, you're both here. Of course we're here, baby. Where else would we be? Marcus looked at Dante. You came even though I'm in the hospital, and you don't like hospitals because they remind you of when you got shot. Marcus, I'd go anywhere for you. Hospitals, schools, basketball games, anywhere. You're my buddy. Am I? Marcus's eyes were hopeful, vulnerable. Because I was thinking, I know you're not my dad. My real dad doesn't want to be my dad, but maybe you could be like a dad. If you wanted, I'd like that. Dante felt his throat. Close up, he looked at Nicole, who was crying again but nodding. Marcus, Dante said carefully, I would be honored to be like a dad to you, if your mum is okay with it. I'm more than okay with it, Nicole said. Marcus smiled, then drifted back to sleep, the pain medication pulling him under. In the hallway, Nicole grabbed Dante's hand. He's right, you know. You've been more of a father to him in 6 months than his biological dad ever was. If you're serious about this, I'm serious about him, about you, about all of it. Then I need to tell you something. I love you, Dante Moretti. Completely, fully, terrifyingly, I love you. I love you too, both of you. You're my family now, the only real family I've ever had. 1 year after being abandoned at Sorrentino's, Dante Moretti stood in his living room, actually stood, using leg braces and crutches that his intensive physical therapy had made possible. It wasn't walking, not really, but it was standing. It was progress. Nicole and Marcus were moving in today. She'd finally agreed after months of Dante asking. The penthouse was being reorganized to accommodate them. Marcus getting his own room, Nicole and Dante sharing the master bedroom, modifications being made to ensure Dante could navigate everything safely. You ready for this? Nicole asked, carrying boxes with Marcus. Ready to have you. 2 here full-time. Absolutely, I've been ready. Marcus ran over and hugged him carefully, mindful of the crutches. This is going to be so cool. We're going to be a real family. We're already a real family, buddy. We're just making it official. That evening, after Marcus was asleep in his new room, Nicole and Dante sat on the balcony overlooking the city, the same view he'd looked at a year ago when he'd been alone, broken, ready to give up. Thank you, Dante said. For what? for showing up that night, for giving me a chance when I was at my lowest, for seeing past the wheelchair and the criminal past and all the reasons you should have run away, for letting me be part of your lives. Thank you for staying, Nicole countered, for not running when things got complicated, for loving my son like he's your own, for showing me what a real partner looks like. Valentina was an idiot for leaving. You, Nicole said. No, Valentina did me a favor. If she'd stayed, I would have spent my life trying to be the man I was, trying to reclaim power and status that didn't matter. But she left, which freed me to become someone better, someone who could meet a single mother and her son and learn what actually matters, which is this family, love, purpose, showing up for people who need you, being there when it matters. I had power for 20 years and it meant nothing, but Marcus asking me to be like a dad, that means everything. Nicole kissed him, and the city lights sparkled below them, indifferent and eternal. Do you ever think about that night? She asked, about how close we both came to not meeting. If Marcus's birthday had been different, if I hadn't called for a reservation, if you hadn't been there, I think about it all the time. How one moment can change everything, how the worst night of my life became the best night, how being abandoned led to being found by a single mother and her nosy son, the best single mother and the best nosy son. They sat in comfortable silence, two people who'd found each other when they'd both needed saving, building a family from broken pieces, proving that sometimes the people who find you in your darkest moment are the ones who help you discover the light. 5 years later, Dante Moretti stood at Marcus's middle school graduation, actually stood, using a cane now instead of crutches, years of physical therapy giving him limited but functional mobility. Nicole stood beside him, her hand in his. They'd been married for 3 years, a small ceremony with just close friends and Marcus serving as both ring bearer and best man. Marcus was 13 now, confident and kind, the top of his class. He'd been accepted into a prestigious private high school with a full scholarship. In his valedictorian speech, he talked about family, about love, about the man who'd shown him that fathers are made, not born. I used to think family was about blood, Marcus said, his voice clear and strong. But I learned that family is about showing up. It's about the people who choose to be there, who choose to love you, who choose to stay. My dad chose me, and that matters more than anything. Dante felt tears on his face. Nicole squeezed his hand. After the ceremony, Marcus ran over and hugged them both. Did I do okay? You did perfect, son, Dante said. Perfect. That night, back at the penthouse that had become their home, Dante sat on the balcony and thought about the man he'd been 5 years ago. Paralyzed, abandoned, ready to give up. A mob boss who'd built an empire on violence and fear. That man was gone now, dead, replaced by someone better, a father, a husband. A man who'd learned that being left alone at a restaurant was actually a gift in disguise, that hitting rock bottom was just the foundation for building something real. Nicole joined him on the balcony, handing him a glass of wine. What are you thinking about? She asked. About how Valentina leaving me was the best thing that ever happened to me, about how being abandoned led to being found, about how the paralysis that I thought was the end was actually the beginning. The beginning of what? Of actually living. I spent 42 years surviving, building power, being feared, but I wasn't really alive. I was just going through motions, and then I lost everything. My legs, my power, my fiancé, my identity, and in losing everything, I found what actually matters. I found you. I found Marcus. I found purpose. Do you miss it? The power, the life you had before. Sometimes I miss walking. Without a cane, but the rest of it? No, I'd give up walking entirely if it meant keeping this life, this family, this love. Nicole leaned against him. Marcus wants to be a doctor. Did you know that? Yeah, he told me. Wants to work in trauma surgery. Says he wants to help people the way the surgeons helped him. He's going to be amazing. He already is. Because of you. You raised him right, Nicole. Long before I came along. You raised him to be kind. And smart and good, that's all you. It's us now, we raised him together. You've been his father for 5 years, that counts. Dante thought about the definition of fatherhood, about the man who'd donated sperm but never shown up, and about himself, a paralyzed ex-mob boss who'd chosen to show up, chosen to love, chosen to stay. Yeah, he said, it counts. 10 years after being left alone at Sorrentino's, Dante Moretti walked his son Marcus down the trail. At Marcus's wedding, he used a cane. His steps were slow and careful, but he walked. The physical therapy had continued for years. The doctors called his progress miraculous. Dante called it motivation. When Marcus had asked him to walk him down the aisle, Dante had made it his mission to be able to do it. You don't have to walk, Marcus had said. I'd be honored if you wheeled yourself down the aisle. However you come, you're still my dad. But Dante had wanted to walk. For Marcus, for this moment as they reached the altar where Marcus's bride waited, Marcus hugged him tight. Thank you, Dad, for everything, for showing up when I was 9, for staying, for teaching me what a man should be. You're already more of a man than I ever was, Dante whispered back. I'm so proud of you, son. At the reception, Nicole found Dante sitting at a table, his leg braced, exhausted from the walk, but happy. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I'm perfect, tired, but perfect. Marcus wants to dance with us, both of us. Says it's not a proper wedding without a family dance. I can't really dance. You can sway while holding us. That's good enough." So they did, the three of them on the dance floor. Dante supported by Nicole on one side and Marcus on the other, swaying slowly to music, a family built from an abandoned reservation and a 9-year-old's birthday wish. "I love you both," Dante said. "We love you too, Dad," Marcus replied. Later that night, back in their penthouse, Nicole and Dante stood on the balcony for what felt like the 1,000th time. The view never got old. The city lights never stopped sparkling. 10 years, Nicole said. "Can you believe it's been 10 years since that night at Sorrentino's? Best night of my life, even though at the time it was the worst." Valentina's probably married to some finance guy now living in Connecticut, completely unaware of what she walked away from. I hope she's happy, I really do, because her leaving me freed me to find you, and you saved me, Nicole. You and Marcus, you saved me from myself. You saved us too, from struggling and barely making it and feeling invisible. You saw us, you valued us, you chose us. I'll choose you every day for the rest of my life. They kissed on the balcony, two people who'd found each other in the worst moment and built the best life, proving that sometimes being abandoned is actually being set free, that sometimes a single mother appearing when you need her most is exactly the miracle you didn't know you were waiting for. The end. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe and share, drop a comment. Have you ever had a terrible moment turn into a blessing? Have you been saved by someone showing up when you needed them most? What would you have done in Dante's position? This is a story about finding family in unexpected places, about being chosen when you feel abandoned, about discovering that what you can do is more important than what you can't. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.